Hey guys, welcome back to our Meal Prep Made Easy series. As you know, every week I am sharing a brand new healthy meal prep menu that can all be prepared on Sunday so that you're eating really well all week long. I am just so excited about today's menu because it's full of fresh, bright colors and flavors, and I think you guys are going to love it. Keep in mind that all of these tasty recipes, plus shopping lists and lots of tips and tricks, are available in my Meal Prep Made Easy ebook. All of the details for the ebook are in the description box below, so be sure to check them out. We're kicking things off today with our chicken enchilada soup. This soup is all going to be made in the slow cooker. So really, it's all about dumping the ingredients in, giving them a stir, and then letting the slow cooker do the work. What could be easier than that? So in my slow cooker, I'm combining some finely diced onion and some corn. I'm using some frozen corn, but feel free to use fresh or canned if you like. That's totally fine. I've also got some black beans, which have tons of fiber. I'm also going to be adding some cooked shredded chicken. If you wanted to leave this recipe completely vegetarian, you could definitely leave the chicken out, no problem at all. To pump up the flavor, I'm going to be adding some minced garlic, some chili powder, and some canned green chilies. I'm also going to be adding about a cup of enchilada sauce. I'm cheating with some store-bought enchilada sauce because I just did not have the time nor the inclination to make my own enchilada sauce. I'm going to top all of this off with some crushed tomatoes and some chicken broth. You could definitely do this with vegetable broth as well. I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper, give it all a good stir, and then set my slow cooker on high for 3 or 4 hours. When it's time to serve this yumminess, I'm going to add in a good handful of fresh cilantro, and it is ready to eat. It can be stored in the refrigerator for 3 or 4 days, or in the freezer for up to 3 months. Next, I'm going to show you my Salsa Verde chicken. Now, once again in this recipe, I'm cheating with some jarred Salsa Verde. If you have a Salsa Verde recipe that you love, by all means, use that instead. I'm getting started with some beautiful boneless, skinless chicken breasts in this recipe. I'm just gonna season it up with some salt and some pepper, and then I'm going to heat some oil in my frying pan. I'm going to add my chicken topside down and brown it over medium-high heat for about 5 minutes. You'll know it's ready when it releases easily from the pan. Then I'm going to flip my chicken, brown it for another 2 or 3 minutes on the bottom, and then remove it to a plate. In the very same pan, I'm going to add a little bit more oil and then saute some finely diced onion. Once that onion is nice and soft, I'm going to add some minced garlic and some minced jalapeno. I'm going to saute those for about 30 more seconds, and then I'm going to deglaze my pan with some chicken broth and some salsa verde. Once all of that yumminess comes to a boil, I'm going to return my chicken to the pan, turn the heat down to medium-low, and cover it for about 10 minutes. What we want is for the chicken to reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees. That's how you know it's ready. Now, it would be a real shame to let any of this delicious concoction go to waste. I would highly recommend shredding this chicken up, putting it back into these beautiful juices, and then using it for things like quesadillas, burritos, and tacos. Right? You see where I'm going with this? Delicious. It can be refrigerated for up to 3 days or stored in the freezer for up to 3 months. Next up, I'm going to make a superb side for this yummy chicken. It's my lime and cilantro rice, and it's super simple to make. So I've got a saucepan heating up on the stove, and to that I'm going to add some rice, some vegetable broth, and some minced garlic. I'm going to bring all of this to a boil, put the lid on my pot, turn the heat down to low, and let it simmer for 10 minutes. I'm going to turn my heat off and let it steam for another 5 minutes, and then it's time to add some beautiful flavor. Now, this awesome rice is delicious already, but we're going to add the zest of a lime, the juice of a lime, some freshly chopped cilantro, and some salt and some pepper. This is a classic copycat of Chipotle's lime and cilantro rice. It's what they put in their burritos. It's bananas good. This rice will last in the refrigerator for up to 4 days. Next up, we're going to be roasting some beautiful, colorful veggies. So I'm starting with some finely diced zucchini, and to that I'm going to add some red bell pepper and some yellow bell pepper. I've got some corn and some finely diced red onion. I'm also going to be adding some minced jalapeno to this. You could leave it out if you are not into the heat. I'm going to toss all of this beautiful veg with some olive oil, some salt and some pepper, and a little bit of chili powder. And then I'm going to put it into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Once it's ready, it can be eaten all on its own or served in things like quesadillas and tacos. So good. And good for you. What's not to like about that? Today on our lunch menu, we are making a sweet potato and black bean salad. I'm going to start by whipping up a really simple dressing. I've got some freshly squeezed lime juice, and to that I'm going to add some olive oil, some minced garlic, some freshly chopped cilantro, and some salt and pepper. I'm going to whisk all of this together and then divide it into my jars. Next, I'm going to build my beautiful salads. So I've got some canned black beans that I've rinsed and drained, and then I'm going to top those with some roasted sweet potatoes. I've gone ahead and roasted my sweet potatoes in the oven, just a little olive oil and some salt and pepper. I like to keep things simple around here. To add some crunch and some color to this salad, I'm going to be adding some red bell pepper, a little bit of corn, and some finely diced red onion. I'm going to top each jar with some romaine lettuce, put on the lids, and then store these in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. When you're ready to eat them, all you need to do is give them a really good shake and either pour them into a bowl or eat them straight out of the jar. For breakfast this week, I'm making some really simple salsa frittatas. So I'm starting with some eggs, and to that I'm going to add a little bit of milk and some jarred salsa. This is gonna give us loads of flavor without loads of work. I'm going to whisk all of this together and then pour the mixture into a prepared muffin tin. In this case, I'm using these really handy silicone baking cups, but you could definitely do this in a regular muffin tin if you wanted to. Just make sure you grease it really well because frittatas love to stick. We're gonna fill each cup about 3/4 of the way full and then top them with some shredded cheddar cheese and some chopped green onion. Into the oven they go at 375 for about 15 minutes. They can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 5 days and eaten cold or heated up in the microwave. Finally on today's menu, we've got my black bean dip, and it's amazing when served with things like tortilla chips or fresh veggies. And it's really easy to make because the food processor basically does all the work. I'm getting started with 2 cans of black beans that I've just rinsed and drained. To that, I'm going to add some minced garlic, some chili powder, garlic powder, and ground cumin. Next, I've got some limes. I'm going to zest and juice them so we get maximum lime freshness and flavor. We're gonna season this up with some salt and pepper and a good handful of fresh cilantro. If you are one of those cilantro haters, no problem, just leave it out. I'm going to put the lid on my food processor and blend this yumminess up. I'm going to add some olive oil, a tablespoon at a time, until the mixture is nice and smooth. Then it can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. This stuff is also amazing when scooped over tortillas, topped with shredded cheddar, and put into the oven for nachos. That's it for this week's menu. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. And if you give any of these awesome recipes a try, be sure to tweet or Instagram me a photo because you know I love seeing what you're coming up with in your very own kitchens. And don't forget that all of these tasty menus are available in my Meal Prep Made Easy ebook. The details are in the description box below. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there's lots more healthy meal prep where this came from.